CITVC is the Contemporary Issues Through Video Conferencing class, and we video conference with different countries or even just different states around the world and around the United States, different schools. We get like different perspectives on certain subjects, like either news, dealing with religion, culture.
At the beginning of the school year, when I met with my video conferencing class for the first time, I asked them some of the projects they would like to do for the year. And one of the students mentioned to me that they would like to have an international hosting opportunity, just like the one we had had 2 years ago with students from Ghana.
Ms. Menike had a contact for a few years, and we started talking to his classroom in Germany, and they were wonderful. I don't even know how the topic came up of them coming here, but before we knew it, they were booking their plane flight.
I know Ms. Menike had a relationship with them over the years, and it just got to that point where we were just like, hey, why don't you come over? And that's how it kind of developed.
Our teacher told us that it would be possible to visit the US, and everyone was like, oh my gosh, I want that.
I really wanted to get involved because this is like a huge experience, and I really got into the class because 2 years ago we had Ghana kids come, so I was just like, I have to do something like this.
When you're getting involved with hosting international students, there are many things to consider regarding not just the actual getting the students here, who's going to host them, having places for them to go, informing the parents of everything, planning activities for them.
I was so excited. I told my parents, I'm like, Mom, Dad, I'm hosting. I didn't even ask them, I just told them. I was so excited. I knew we had an extra room.
My family actually hosted a French foreign exchange student 2 years ago, and he was from Hyères in the south of France, and it was a really rewarding experience. He's like my best friend. He's like a brother to me. He was so close. We clicked instantly. He still comes back to visit us, so we wanted that again. So that's why when I went home and I was like, Mom, let's host a German student. She's like, yeah, let's go for it.
And I was dancing around the whole day because I was so happy that I got the chance to come.
We've lived in Germany before, so my mom was really excited, and she knows a lot of German. Well, she doesn't know German, but she knows a lot of German things and things from Germany, so she wanted to compare from when we lived there to now, like what it is now. So she was very excited.
You all know I teach the video conferencing class, and it's just been, opened so many doors for me and my students. One of those doors is our relationships overseas with students on the international level. And we made good friends with a school in Germany. They're outside of Nuremberg, and they're what's called a high school. They call them gymnasiums over there. And it's been about a 4-year relationship that we've had with this school. And it's been just very exciting, always fun. The kids that are over there are just, very excited to learn about America, American culture. They want to talk about global events all the time with us. They want to know our opinions about things. And this year we had some conversations with them. They were very friendly. My students were excited. And I think my students wanted an opportunity to really have some kind of global experience. So we all decided to invite them to come and visit us, and they accepted.
When I first told my parents, they were like, oh my gosh, this is going to be great. Like, I can't wait. We're going to bring them everywhere. And I was like, oh my gosh, this girl's going to be so overwhelmed.
My mom actually thought it would be good, and I was shocked. I did not think they would let me do this. But I was like, we have an extra room. It would be perfect. It was like the perfect opportunity.
Oh, I just got home and said, yeah, I'm going to New York. I didn't even ask because I was so excited.
You get to have like a temporary brother or sister for a while.
I had done it 2 years ago with the students who had come from Ghana, and that was an amazing experience as well, and I had always wanted to do it again.
It's quite a large and intense process, and it's something that I need a lot of help with as a teacher. So that's why I'm so fortunate that my video conferencing class is that type of class where my students were on board with me. So we sort of had a committee.
From November up until they came was preparation.
I was in constant contact with Kathy, with Ms. Menike. And so basically from the decision until now it would have been something like 5 or 6 months.
But my students also created booklets, biographical booklets of themselves, so they could send them to the German students.
We developed a bio of our entire classroom. So it was like our picture and like all this stuff, just talking about us. That way we could match up who would host who depending on how alike we are.
We got the bios, and I felt if I was going to Germany, I would want to pick my host, so I let the German student pick me.
My students engaged in a lot of social media use. They were constantly on Facebook with their hosts, so once we paired up the students, it was now time for them to get to know each other, and I think they spent several months getting to know each other over Facebook, Skyping on their own. My students also set up Skype sessions between the German parents and their own parents so that they could meet each other and talk about any rules or any concerns that they might have. So I felt that was very important to keep not just our parents on this side of the ocean informed, but the parents over there informed. And they really rose to the task and really did quite a bit of administrative and bureaucratic work to be ready for this.
Yeah, I was really nervous because we wrote us on Facebook, and to see us face to face is something different. And yeah, but it was really cool. She was really friendly and she smiled, so I was happy.
Talked to them on Facebook for a bit, and then I realized that we were probably all three of us were going to be very good friends. We had a lot of similar interests, music and certain sciences with Ali.
I wasn't that nervous because we were writing over Facebook before, so I already knew him a bit. And we were really excited to meet each other, and it was, I really liked him.
Just getting like simple basics. How old are you? Like, do you have any siblings, pets? Where do you live, sports-wise?
I just remember getting a message from this beautiful German girl, and she was like, "Hi, my name's Jana, will you be my host?"
Many of the activities that we planned together were planned in groups ahead of time. We also surveyed the students that were coming, and we asked them what they wanted to do, so we were able to do all of that.
At first we were like, oh, we'll figure it out when they come, and Ms. Menike was like, no, you know, they're going to want to schedule, they're going to want to know exactly where they're going.
Whenever you're hosting international students, finances always comes up. The school and the administration were very supportive in us having the international guests and in helping us out in certain areas. But of course there were other expenses because my students wanted to do so many different things. So we had to engage in can shakes. We asked local businesses if we could stand outside their establishments on Saturdays or Sundays. Students who were hosting German students and even students who weren't but wanted to be involved in the exchange came and did can shakes for us.
On Easter weekend, the class participated in the can shake outside Bromelows to help raise money for the whole exchange program, and it was really successful.
We went to ShopRite, Bromelows, I know we have at A&P.
It was actually the most fun I've had actually doing manual labor, because on Saturday I got to dress up as a bunny before Easter, and I got to dance. You know, I saw some kids. You know, I was smiling the whole time, so it was a great experience. Like I liked doing it because I was helping the trip, and I was actually having fun being in the bunny suit. You know, seeing all those kids happy. I was giving out chocolate.
We were very successful in the can shake, so I was very proud of my students for their dedication. What we did was we set up teams for certain times, so students did 2-hour shifts, and then as 2 would come off, 2 more would come on. Students can shaked on their own, like when they went to family events and they went maybe to friends' parties. They said, does anybody want to help me out? So really we were able to raise a lot of finances for not just the trip, but for all the events that were taking place.
The airport visit was really exciting. You know, we were so anxious for them to get there. Me, Ms. Menike, Alexa Tilley, Natasha, and Carly went, along with some of the PBTV people.
We went in Carly's dad's limo truck thing, and we were videotaping in there and making jokes about what we're gonna do when they come here and what we're gonna do when we first see them. And it was just unreal that we were actually going to pick them up from the airport.
We had like an 8-hour flight, That was like really exhausting, and we were still not in Jersey. Then we had another 2-hour flight, and it was like the end, and then we finally arrived in New Jersey, and it was like so unreal. It was like you fall asleep on the flight and you like in a dream, because you saw this stuff in TV.
I just remember waiting outside their gate. We found the gate, and I don't know how long we were waiting there, but it felt like forever.
And then when we first saw them for the first time, it was like unreal that like they were really here. We couldn't even believe it.
I was so nervous because we got to know each other pretty well over Facebook and Skype and stuff. But it was weird because we knew each other, but we've never met personally.
The anticipation it killed us. We were looking in the gate, like wondering when they were gonna arrive, and then we were just like sitting around bored, like talking, what's gonna happen? Like, I wonder if she's gonna like me, I wonder if blah, 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 blah. And then they came out of the gate and we straight just ran up into each other's arms and we just gave each other hugs.
Yes, at first I think, oh my God, they're new people we don't know, but you're all really friendly, and it was so, it was easy.
And when we brought them back to school, we had a get-together and some light refreshments, and all the parents got to meet their host child.
Right now we're preparing for the Germans to come from the airport. We prepared a welcoming party with some treats and some chocolate.
So I was supposed to get the decorations, and everyone chipped in cooking, and I don't know, I was really nervous. I was like, does it look good enough? Are they gonna like it? I was like, are you sure there's enough like tablecloths? I didn't want to give like a bad first impression. We were like freaking out. We're like, should we play music? And we couldn't get the coffee running. We had to call up the janitor.
It's been taking us weeks to prepare for this one party, preparing who was going to be bringing what, who was bringing the drinks, who's bringing the forks. It's a lot more complicated than it seems.
The welcome was just so great that I've never experienced that before. There's always been a slight problem. Here, nothing.
So right now, we're waiting in anticipation for the Germans to arrive. I'm not even hosting and I like feel the butterflies. It's really exciting. I don't know. I don't even know what to expect or what to say to them or like, hi.
They came back from the airport, everything's good and happy, and I think everybody's just excited. This is a fun time for us, you know, really a happy, fun time. Now, when everybody goes home, they'll probably relax at home and get to know each other even more, and I'm just so excited that everybody got home safe and happy, and everybody's just smiling and doing good.
I've never met you in the US before, and I think it's also very exciting because we can meet you, and we're not just visiting the city like our tourists. I'm a little bit afraid because I've never spoke so much English.
We are going to the beach, we are going shopping.
A lot of people say that I want to go shopping. And I think there will also be a baseball game. And tomorrow, I think there's a Broadway musical.
When they came, there were so many activities. First, when they came off the plane, we greeted them. We had a welcoming committee at the airport for them. And when we brought them back to school, we had a get-together and some light refreshments, and all the parents got to meet their host child. And that was very exciting for everyone. We gave everyone that night off. And then over the next 6-7 days, there was a multitude of activities the kids engaged in, and I'm sure they speak about it. But as groups, we went to New York together one day, and it was a full-day event. We went to the Tenement Museum in the Lower East Side because that was something the Germans were very interested in, since their country now is undergoing a lot of immigration. So they were very interested in the history of immigration, particularly New York City. And we went on a lot of tours, and they were wonderful in the neighborhood down there. Then the students sort of broke for lunch. They went to Little Italy, they went to Chinatown, some of us went to the World Trade Center Memorial. Then we met back up together and we all attended a Yankee game together that night, so that was quite exciting.
I'm very excited to be here, especially because it's my first time in America. I've got a lot of friends who've been here already. Some have been in Florida, some in Los Angeles and so on. And I'm the first one who's visiting New York. It's great, and I'm very proud of it.
And then meeting her like face to face was really strange because we were talking from like opposite sides of the world, and then we were like a foot away.
It's something different to see them face to face, not only on a picture or on a TV screen.
And then from there, it just developed in, oh, what do you want to do when you get here? Shopping and all that stuff. And then we got further into more what specific things you want to do. Like we knew we wanted to go to the city, go eating out some places.
We spent a lot of time talking about what different groups would be doing. making sure that the Germans got a taste of everything. Going to New York City, going to landmarks, going to museums, going to the theater. They wanted them to have a real New York experience, but then they also wanted them to spend time in Jersey, go to the shore, have a good time. So it took a lot of planning on the part of my class. We got into committee groups, and there were the activities committee, there was the committee that was planning the more serious field trips, and then there was the more lighthearted field trips. I had students who also surveyed the parents to find out, what they would like to do regarding having get-togethers, barbecues in the backyards. Would everybody be available to go to them?
Each host had a piece of paper, and non-hosts too, had a piece of paper, all their contact information on it, and then they had what they planned to do each day, like basic overload of what they planned to do, not really anything specific. So from there, basically, like say I thought Rebecca was doing something interesting on Saturday, I can go with Rebecca's.
With the whole schedule of what they were doing, you could basically just pick and choose. Like, I want to go to Six Flags and I want to be there for the barbecue, and I did something with them every day, even though I wasn't hosting.
Well, we went to New York, and we planned that so they can see like the city, because that's what everyone wants to see when they come here. And we did like a double-decker bus tour, and they loved it. We did the Yankee game, and we went to Seaside, because everyone wants to see the beach.
We saw a lot. We went to New York City and the Jersey Shore.
We were able to see an off-Broadway show, Rent, which was, I think, a little bit different for them because they don't have theaters in Germany as much as we do here. They have a lot of opera. So when we told them we were going to the theater, they were a little bit like, oh, we're going to see an opera. We're like, no, like a theater. Like it's a play, it's contemporary, it's going to be more fun. And they'd never seen a big production like that before.
We went to Rent, an off-Broadway show. It was amazing, yeah, I have to say it.
We came out of Port Authority and they just looked up and they're like, whoa, buildings are really tall, and I just thought it was really funny.
The skyscrapers are just, I cannot explain it, and everything is colored, the screens everywhere, it's just amazing.
No, I think they really like New York City because especially just walking around, they got to see everything, and people, for me, just walking around with them, you could see their expressions, like when they saw Times Square, and it was really nice because, like, for us, we've been here for so long, it's like not that big of a deal for us, but like to see like foreigners, to see how they react to like Times Square, it was really nice.
Down to the immigration at first, then we want to go shopping and maybe Central Park a little bit. Yeah, I think that, and the Yankees game. The Yankees game in the evening. Are you excited? Of course, yeah. I think it's the typical Yankees game. I need a T-shirt too. So great.
Union Square in New York City, and we've got like 1 hour left until we go to the Yankees game, and it's really cool here. It's like a place to chill, and Asa told me it's like in the middle of the night there's still people skating and stuff, and I like it.
I'm going to have every ride that's existing there at least 2 times.
Tell me what's happening right now.
So right now, I'm holding on bags of some terrified roller coasters, and they're all going on Kingda Ka, and I'm really scared for them. I mean, I'm sure they're not, but I am.
We experienced so much in such a short time. It was really amazing. I mean, we went to New York City twice, we went to the Yankees game, went to the beach, and now that school day, I'm gonna like have a lot of memories.
I mean, I love New York by night, by day, anytime. Like New York City, I love it.
Of course, shopping is a big thing. I love go shopping.
Most of the plans we had set already, like we had a lot of the kids in the class wanted to go to Six Flags, so we decided like, oh, on Friday we'll go to Six Flags, and we all wanted to go to the city, so we all planned to go to the city and go to the Yankee game on Sunday. But Isabel didn't want to go to the game, so instead my parents came in, and after we hung around the city and everyone went to the game, we just hung around, went to Times Square, went out to eat, saw Central Park, and got to see all the sights really.
Yesterday I went to New York with Kayla and her family, and we saw Times Square and went to the Hard Rock Cafe. So it was so great, everything was so big, and Times Square was so nice at night.
Every day Isabel wanted either like fast food Chinese food or fast food Wendy's or Taco Bell or something. Every day she wanted fast food. I don't know why, but she just loves fast food.
We went to the city and we had Beth Horovchek's father was our tour guide, and he brought us to a ton of places throughout the city.
I think my trip on Thursday, we went to New York, so to Midtown, and saw the Central Park, just walking around, have a guide tour from my father, and I enjoyed it very much because the town is so different and we got many background information. Yeah, I think that's the part I like best.
Friday, I think it was, we went to New York and my dad was our tour guide, and they all thought it was crazy because he knew like every single street in New York and everything about it, and they had a lot of fun going and we all enjoyed it.
The favorite moment, that was probably when we walked through Central Park. That was pretty amazing.
The Great Adventure trip was really fun. They said that they didn't have big amusement parks like that in Germany, and they'd never been to one really. So when we went there, they took it all in, and it was just really great to see like the expression on their faces when they saw everything. And they wanted to do everything. And we went on Kingda Ka. That was the first ride we went on, me and Damla, and we sat in the front row. So it was just, I mean, it was 28 seconds long, but it was just amazing. We had so much fun, and then we got the pictures at the end, and she kept her picture and sent me one also. And it was just like a memory that you're never gonna forget, like going on those rides and just experience something like that with them.
I started to feel it during when we went to Six Flags, which is probably the third day in. Just because waiting on lines, there's nothing to do but talk to each other. So we like started dancing and like giggling and asking them their favorite dance moves, and like it was like funny. It was really like a giggling type thing. When you laugh with people, I feel like you bond so much more.
Probably everyone says this, but I think the day of Six Flags, everyone just, like the people who went, who were fortunate enough to come with us, we all bonded that day. Like we went on 2 rides, just doing nothing. They would have music come on and people would just start dancing. Like that's where we really like started talking. The bus rides, we would play games and sing at each other and like learn German.
I liked Six Flags. It was great because there are fun parks like this in Germany too, but they aren't as big, and I enjoyed it really much.
I think that was Six Flags, the King Dakar, the really fast roller coaster. I loved it.
I guess it was an organized chaos, because we had it on paper, but we didn't know exactly how it was going to go down. Like, we knew what we were doing, but you know, how exactly it was going to go about was still sort of a question. But somehow, like, I don't know if Miss Menike is a miracle worker, but everything worked out perfectly. Even like little things that went wrong, just being in each other's company made it okay.
It was a great experience. I think everything was so extremely, you were so friendly, the whole guests and the people in the city, for example, it was in New York.
Jana and Christina were so amazing. Me and Casey spent a lot of time together and she was hosting Christina. So we were able to go to the city. We went to Wildwood and went on the beach. It was beautiful. We went to the baseball game. We were able to go to the mall and they spent forever in Forever 21. It was so funny.
I love baseball, first of all. It's like one of my favorite sports. I love going to a game. They're so much fun. So I wanted to share that experience with them, because I know that they have like soccer over there, which is really big, and I think the next big thing would be a baseball game, and to experience American culture through American sports.
And to teach them, you know, what baseball is here, and you know, we all wore our Yankees shirts, and it was such a great bonding time for us.
They didn't really know, like, I remember someone, I don't remember who it was, they were saying it was basketball. We were like, no, it's baseball. And then, you know, I remember Isabella, she fell in love with the hot dogs. That was like her favorite thing at the Yankee game was the hot dogs.
One of the players hit a fly ball basically right next to us, but it wasn't in reach to us, so we couldn't go down and pick it up. So the police officer picked it up and we were like, oh, can we please have it? We got students from Germany, they'd love to have it, and he actually gave it to one of our students, and then it ended up with Damla. She was ecstatic. She was talking about it for the whole night, you know, she was hugging everyone. It was awesome.
It was kind of like tying the bow on like the finishing of our trip. It was really cool that she got to like experience something like that. And it was really cool for me too, because when do you ever get a fly ball?
We went to the beach, which I think was my favorite because it was just, we were just all hanging out and having a great time, and that's like when we were really clicking as a good friend group, and we just had a lot of fun with everything that we did.
Like Thursday night, it was awkward and we were all just kind of like hanging out, I guess. And then on Saturday, we were playing like volleyball on the beach, and we all really got along.
My favorite part was probably hanging out at Keith's house all the time and how all of us would come together for the barbecues and just really bond and the fire pit.
Just to be with the people, to spend time with the people we've known over the internet for so long.
It's such a beautiful thing what just happens. You find someone from the other side of the world, speaking a completely different language, does not look anything like you, and you find some similarities.
One of the things that impressed me the most about it was the cultural exchange that took place between the Germans and my students. Even though the Germans all spoke English perfectly and they were able to speak over social media and they got to know each other ahead of time, when they came here, the Germans were very impressed by our lifestyle, things that were different here, and they felt that we were very lucky and that we had so much, you know, the land of plenty, they called it. And I think my students never saw their neighborhoods that way or their life that way.
I was at Keith's house and he basically like let it known to all of his friends, his neighbors, come over, get to meet them, get to know them. And it was just really like an open environment for anybody to kind of feel welcome.
I think people are sometimes more friendly than Germany. So, for example, we had a barbecue at a house, and there were something like, I think, nearly 50 people.
I think American people are very friendly. That's the first thing I've noticed.
The people here are more open. In Germany, you wouldn't just talk to people on the street.
They were really nice to everyone, and they were so gracious to everything that we did for them, and they would always be like, thank you, and I think that's what helped them get like the generosity back.
I was shocked actually when they said that everyone's so friendly here, because like I view northern New Jersey and New Jersey as a whole kind of pretty like to themselves and just trying to get through the day, trying to hurry up and get to work and back and just, but everyone said that, like all the German students too, all the Danish girls, they're saying how everyone's so nice here and they're so welcoming. And I kind of take a step back and realize like people here, they were being so nice to them, they were helping them out. I went to Dunkin' Donuts, the guy was giving us free donuts, like, oh, enjoy America, have a great time here. Like, it was crazy the response they were getting. Like, everyone treated them so nicely.
It's all really extreme, and you're all friendly and extreme, and America is really a nice and beautiful country.
Everything was different, like the normal family life was really not like in Germany, like everything with the big cars, and you get everywhere by car and stuff. In Germany you often go with bus or train or subway.
Germany is so small, and here everything is bigger than in Germany. The streets are so big, and here every family has so many cars.
When I asked her, basically she just said that how amazing it's like. She's like, I love the highways and how big everything is, and everything's so different than Germany. Because I'm pretty sure their town is like an old, like castle-y kind of city, and it's not like anything here. And like she was looking in city, like looking up at the skyscrapers.
You know, we asked her a lot of questions, and she would tell us about how life was by her. I know that they don't have a lot of cars and that they don't go on highways. She loved the highway.
Houses can be very, very tall and big.
It's different, I think, because, for example, the houses, they look like in Desperate Housewives, kind of. Because in Germany, you've got either houses in a row that stick together, or you've got like big houses with a lot of apartments in it. And here you've got the houses with, like every house has its own garage. In Germany, you've got, like I already told you, the houses are in a row, and then there are garages in a row.
Everything is bigger, actually. The railways are bigger, the portions of food are bigger.
Even the school here is just bigger. Just our school is like small compared to this one.
I asked them a lot about their school system because they seem to be fascinated by the way we do things here at PV.
Yeah, for example, the first thing I noticed and I already have seen on TV is that you have lockers. We do not have lockers in our school.
They don't go to school like us. Our school is the same thing every day. They have different type of schedules. Sometimes they're there for a couple of hours. Sometimes they're there literally for 7 hours or more than 9 hours. They go to school, it's more of like a college kind of school, not really a high school.
The school system is really different. You know, how you have the same schedule every day, we don't. Or, yeah, we don't have the system with like the 4 years of high school.
They loved how many sports we had when I explained to her and showed her in the gym all the banners and what they meant and everything. They were kind of like amazed how like a big deal the sports are in our school. And she told me how like they don't have in-sport schools, it's like recreational, it's aside from school. And she just wished like they had that in her school and made it such a big deal. And also the math and the science. In my AP Environmental Science class, she got everything like so quickly. She was just amazed by everything. And it's kind of like she was in that class for the whole year because she just picked up on everything we were doing and was so involved in it. It like threw me back for a second.
They got a chance to just experience different classes, not just the video conferencing class. And I think like they saw a lot of classes that they don't have over there. Like I know, for example, Mr. Donnelly's Holocaust and Genocide class, they were really fascinated by that.
The equipment at our schools is worse than here, really. I think it's amazing how much technical stuff you have here.
We still have blackboards and chalk and stuff. And like when I see all your PVTV stuff and everything, we don't have that. I wish we did. We just have gym class once a week in school. We can choose what to do. I took swim class, so I got Friday afternoon swimming.
When the Germans came, we participated in a video conference with a school in Pennsylvania and a school in India. And they were really excited to
participate in a video conference like we do with them, and they prepared a slideshow presentation about immigration to Germany and facts about it.
The video conferencing class has been a class that really has pushed the limit in terms of trying to get as much international connections that are virtual to make them real. It's wonderful to have those virtual connections, but I think to make as many of them real is really something that the course has evolved into. And the administration, particularly the superintendent and the Board of Education, has been so supportive in that area. When the Germans arrived to school for the first day, we had a video conference with them, and they were our guest speakers for other schools in the United States, and we even had a school in India share so they could ask the German students all about their lifestyle and their experience here in America. And it was very wonderful to see not only the Director of Educational Technology, but the principal and the superintendent come and visit the students and speak with them and really show them how much support came from the administration for this to happen. And ultimately, the Germans appreciated that because their hope is that we will go and visit them one day.
Ms. Menike prepared us so much for this. That she planned so many video conferences with the Germans so that we can practice with them, talking with them and feeling more comfortable talking to them, and we were able to email them back and forth to be able to plan what we were going to do as a group. She planned so many things. She was able to get all the buses together. I know and even though she did so much, she also gave us the responsibility of planning our own trips.
Miss Menike is like the glue that brings everything together in the program. I don't know what we'd do without her because I know we have a lot of tremendous teachers in this school, but I don't think they know exactly what Miss Menike goes through dealing with us with fundraising and video conferencing and writing back and forth to people. She really does everything, and I don't know how we would even begin to start video conferencing with people if it wasn't for her.
I give my heart out to Miss Menike and the school system for doing such an amazing thing, because it doesn't happen every day, and it's a lot of stress, and it's not easy getting all the money together and fundraising and figuring out where they're going to go in the day and figuring out when they're not in school, what are they doing.
So if anyone wanted to host someone from a different country, I think it's a really good experience. And I think Miss Menike is superwoman. She does everything. I don't know how she does it all, and she's just an amazing woman.
I would also like to thank everybody involved for giving our students this great opportunity. And I'd also like to thank Mrs. Menike for her commitment and for the tremendous work she puts up with, and it's really a fantastic educational experience for all of us.
I think it's kind of opened me up, and if I ever hear of anyone ever thinking of hosting someone, I would definitely suggest doing it. I think a foreign exchange program is an amazing thing, and honestly, it's just, you get to see how people around the world view Americans and how people around the world view our culture, what we have, and how our culture is so prominent in their culture too.
Any school thinking about this, I would definitely recommend this. This is by far, throughout all my years in high school, and middle school, this is the most amazing experience I've ever had.
I think it's great what the school did and how it even allowed us to have all these kids here. We had 20 some odd kids walking around the school, and also all of us couldn't really go to classes because we had to stick with them or do interviews with them.
Not many other places offer it, and it just makes PV so much more exciting that we have something like this. You know, we don't really realize it, but this school does have a lot to offer, and this is just one more thing that makes it even better.
It's such a great way to learn about yourself and your community and your country.
The German experience that we had here at Passaic Valley would not have been possible without the help of the parents. I mean, they're the ones that took on the responsibility of being host families. They're the ones that agreed to have someone or several students living in their house. Maybe it was even the professors that were here from Germany. So I really have to thank them so much for what they did. We had preparatory meetings with them prior to the arrival of the Germans. I kept them informed at all times. I'm sure they'll all laugh about the text messages I used to send them, but I kept them informed every day of what event was going on, and in the preparatory meetings, they asked me all the questions that they needed, to know, and they were able to get as many answers as I was able to give them. Also, I said before, we had set up the Skype meetings with the students so that the students would Skype with each other before they came, and then they'd have their parents come on and talk to each other. So at least they were able to talk with the parents of the student they would be hosting. So I really felt that was important, and they were great in terms of helping me out with the can shakes and supporting me at all times. So I really feel that without the parents, this would not have been as successful.
I think my parents kind of opened up from it. Like, they got to realize like what a different culture is like, and like we played this one game. It's like a logic kind of a board game, and it's just funny watching how like she thinks is referred to like how Americans, like anyone else, one of my friends would think.
They got to know that life isn't really that different. Like, it's just, we're just two different people who live on a different side of the world, but yet we're still people and we still go through the same things. So I think that's what we all learned from it, not only my parents, but for me as well.
Not just for this, but when they see me getting a good experience, they feel good about it too, and I think that that's what they got out of it. They saw that I was, you know, learning and having a good time and like making someone's day, and they felt that way too.
I'm staying with Natasha de la Rosa's family, together with another German exchange student, and it was so nice to be there. I felt so welcome. I actually feel like home there. The family is so nice. Natasha is really nice. They've been doing so much to please us.
They're both very special to me. Donnie's my twin and Franzi's my best friend.
I think we have a special kind of humor. I think we can say it like that, because her family is a bit crazy, mine's too, and that's quite funny.
The family is great. Beth, my host, she's really, really nice. And her parents are too. Her father's a great cook and the house is just amazing. And we've had so much fun this week. I wish she could come back with me to Germany.
Yeah, the first night she was here, we had Keith Skida and his two boys come over, and Lizzie Johnson and her boy come over. And my dad cooked for them, and they all loved it. And I guess I took it for granted because I have it every night, but they were all so amazed at how good it was. But it was really fun dinner having all of them there.
Yeah, my parents did learn that we share a lot of the same things. They, you know, grew another daughter. They got really close to her.
She made cupcakes for me when I arrived and put a paper on the front door with "Welcome to America" or
Yeah.
German "Welcome to America." Yeah, it was so cute.
Actually, the first night that she came, everyone was, you know, what do you want to eat and all this stuff, and like showing her around and touring her.
We got her a present that it was a picture frame, and and there's a letter in it saying that we're happy you're staying with us, and we might play Wii.
Yeah, that's so cute. Her family's really nice, and they were so friendly to me. Her sister made cupcakes for me when I arrived, and we're nearly like a family now.
My mom was really close with her. She's like crying when she left. They bonded a lot, and every night before my mom would go to sleep, Francisco would say goodnight. And like, as you know, people from America, sometimes we don't appreciate those things. We just look at them as nothing. But my mom actually, you know, made her really happy for someone to take the time out to, you know, say goodnight to her. She says her kids never do. And, you know, it was so sweet, and she always explained it. I mean, she talked about her all the time.
We are all just overwhelmed by this great hospitality that we meet everywhere. The host families are so wonderful, and I just said to one of the colleagues here that I've been doing exchanges for 15 years now, and there's always the odd little problem with a family, a student who doesn't feel too well, homesickness, and nothing of this happened here. They are all so happy.
I think that my students developed a sense of responsibility because they were responsible for planning an event, for hosting an international student, and for seeing it through to the end. And even though they had their parents' help and they had my help and their other teachers' help, they were ultimately responsible. And I think they felt that they were responsible for another person and for their everyday events.
You can connect with people like very easily just through spending so much time with them, and it's really great to know that I have friends in a different country.
I'm at least hoping it made them feel really welcomed. We were really intrigued with them. I mean, I guess they thought because they were coming to America, it was them getting to know us and here and where we come from, but I felt like we were getting to know them a lot more than they originally intended. We were asking them so many questions. Natasha knew how to speak so many different lines and words and phrases inside the language. We were constantly wanting to know how things were different, and I feel like they felt that, our curiosity.
I learned a lot from them, not only a few German words. I also learned that no matter where someone is from in the world, there's always a connection. Even if you don't think there is, there will be a connection in some way.
This made me appreciate America so much more, like the little things that we take for granted, like Cheese Whiz or something. Like we take that all for granted. We think it's all stupid and American and that it doesn't mean anything, that everybody knows about it. But over in Europe, like everything's different. Like our clothes, when you go shopping, are so much cheaper over here than over there.
Like I also kind of appreciate what I have more. Like we were chewing gum and she's like, oh, this is the best gum in the world. It's just basic Trident. She's like, it's so much better than Germany gum. Like really? Just like the littlest things.
Peanut butter. They were like obsessed with peanut butter. And Reese's peanut butter cups they were obsessed with. Just like little things that we take for granted that they don't have.
It's just a perfect place to do an exchange because it's about, well, not even half an hour to go into New York City, to be where, well, you know, the life is and where all the sites are, the monuments, the museums, and to live here in this wonderful neighborhood, peaceful neighborhood with such friendly people, having the cookouts and barbecues, knowing that our students are safe here and still have the opportunity to go into the city.
It was great, it was amazing. I never thought that New York is so cool and New Jersey. It's the American way of life I always saw on TV, yeah, and that's pretty cool.
The American lifestyle is great and that I like it very much. I just know it from films before, but now I was part of it.
I wouldn't change anything. I really like America. I like New Jersey. It's hot here. I haven't been to the beach. Like, I think the problem is that we haven't got that much time. We've only got 1 week. So I would be happy if it was like 2 or 3 weeks here.
I'm definitely planning that I'm going up the Empire State Building and to visit the Statue of Liberty. But the rest, I think I saw everything I wanted to see.
I wanted to go to the Empire State Building. I wanted to go up there and look at New York. I wanted to see the Statue of Liberty.
I think I will always remember my host, Adriana, because she's so nice. I like her a lot. She's really becoming a good friend and I will always remember her.
He would do this really, really funny dance for everyone. He was always just such a riot at the right time. Like, he wouldn't say a lot for some points in time, he was very quiet, and then he would just say something very funny that had great comedic timing, and that dance was just perfect. Just out of nowhere, he would just start doing this crazy dance, and everyone would just laugh. Very funny guy.
I mean, almost at every event that we had, people that weren't hosting and weren't in the classroom were trying to come. And we were completely open to it, because I mean, that's part of the, you know, American experience, just getting to know everyone. Everyone wanted to know what they were like.
Especially people who I've never talked to before, I'm like best friends with now. And it's just been great. And our class together, we were close before, but now we're even closer.
Another thing is that they bonded with their classmates because they had to work together. Teamwork was crucial for this to happen, and I think the amount of teamwork that developed over the time that we were planning and the time that the Germans were here is something that hasn't been broken. They continue to work as a team to this day.
The gifts were given, obviously, the last day that they were here. We gave them a PV shirt and a photo frame, and it said USA on the bottom, and a picture of the first day that they were here. What's weird about it is that if you look at the picture, we're all kind of spread out. There's like some Americans over here, some Germans over here, like the group of friends. and not even like the host together, but it was just awkward. You can tell that the picture was awkward. But towards the end of everything, if I could replace that picture with the last picture that we all took together, you would see such a major difference. It's everyone scattered and on top of each other and not afraid to be themselves.
But really the party, like we had the food there, we were all just hanging out, and it was actually really, really sad. Like I barely ever cry, and I have like no emotions when it comes to this kind of stuff, and I was actually crying. And like Keith was saying how surprised I was, like I was not expecting you to cry, and like I was so upset when she left because she honestly turned into one of my sisters. I saw her every day, we slept in the same room, we were together 24/7, we had like no time apart.
The goodbye party was so sad. I was so upset for them to leave. She was like a sister to me.
Yes, it was sad, but more of a, like I was very, very like overjoyed and really, really happy because it happened. And not a lot of people can say that they can have family. I can say that I have family on the other side of the world because of this experience.
During the breakfast when they were all leaving and everybody was crying, it was really sad to see them go because we just got so close. And even when I saw like the people who I've never seen cry before, like makes you shed a tear and say like, wow, at least I was happy to have this experience and have this in my life.
It was really fantastic. My kids just got, they were so excited by the time even before she came. We were video chatting with her and the kids were just so excited. My daughter made her a sign and made her cupcakes. And it was just fantastic having someone in our house. We usually have a ton of kids, but this was special.
We were just so sad, but like you were sad and you were happy at the same time, because like you know now that like they have something to talk about when they go home, and it's sad because they're leaving and now your house is kind of empty. Like it felt so empty when I got home, and my mom was just like, she was like, oh, it's over. It's so sad.
Saying goodbye was the hardest part of the whole trip. I tried to keep myself cool, calm, and collected the whole time until I looked at Donnie. As soon as I saw her bright red face with her tears streaming down her face, I was like, oh gosh, here we go. And then I started. And like we embraced for quite a while. And then I had to wipe away the tears because I knew it's not a goodbye, it's a see you later really. Because we all stay in contact and we're all really good friends still.
The day that they got home, we went on Facebook and we just started chatting as if we were just like regular friends, as if I was talking to someone in America.
And I made like 20 best friends out of it. I'm so close to a lot of them I still talk to all the time. Like Isabel and I talk almost every day on Facebook.
Overall, one of the best experiences I've ever had in my entire life.
The whole point of the CITVC class is to be a global citizen, is to know each other's perspectives and where they've come from and what they're going through and just the differences. And part of being a global citizen is really knowing firsthand about other cultures through meeting their people. And I feel like Miss Menike, like through this program, this exchange, she hit it right on the head. It was perfect. This is exactly what we needed to kind of complete it.